Hi, everyone. My name is Teresa Santos with Rosa Realty and the VIP group with Rosa Realty. And I am here just to share with you some of the things that you should be doing as a new agent, right? You just got your license and you're thinking to yourself, okay, now what? What do I do? How do I move forward? How do I prospect? There's so many things that are going through your head, right? Because you are a real estate agent, but now you have to figure out how to get business, right? So, we're going to talk a little bit about the things that you need to start doing and why you might have gotten into real estate, right? So, usually, why is very important. Your why. Why is your why so important? Because if you don't have a strong enough why, you will not succeed in this business, right? When you're feeling like this is not for me, right? When it gets to the point where you're like, oh my God, this is harder than I thought, you're going to have to go back to your why. Why did I decide to do real estate, right? And some of the reasons that people join real estate might be, hey, I want to change careers. I don't want to work for someone else anymore. I'm tired of the 9 to 5, right? I'm tired of making other people money. I want to make my own money and control my time, right? So some of the things are that are or some of the reasons are that, right? The other reason you might think is maybe you want to invest in real estate in the future. So you figured, oh, let me get my real estate license. That might help. That was actually the reason I got into real estate. I wanted to invest. So I decided, let me get my real estate license. Now, some people just want to help people. So they figured, okay, this is a good way of helping people get into a home while I can make some money, right? So there's several reasons as to why you got into real estate. Your why could be stronger. Your why could be, I need to make enough money so that my family is secure at the end of this journey, right? So there's lots of reasons as to why you might have joined real estate. So when you get to those points in life where you're feeling, oh my God, this is just harder than I thought, I can't get a client right now, I haven't been able to close anything. When you get to those points, you have to go back to why you joined real estate or got your license in the first place. Okay. So that's really important. Now, your mindset is one of the most important things that you can have, right? So, regardless of the reason that you got into real estate, it's necessary for you to learn what the business is and have the appropriate mindset to be successful in this business. And it has to be a strong mindset, okay? Because there's a lot of things that you're going to come across that your mindset is going to play a huge role. And, as you see the stats, 1 out of 10 agents succeed in the first 5 years. Actually, if you make it to 5 years, you're doing pretty well. Okay. You'll be doing pretty well. And, as a team, only 3 out of the 10 succeed when you join a team. So you have better odds when you join a team, but definitely it's not as easy as most people look at or make it out to be. It's a lot of hard work, but it's very rewarding financially. It's very rewarding personally. And again, when you have that free, or flexibility of time, it always helps to have that flexibility. Now, so the mindset should be at this business, you're entering in a sales business, right? Because that's the mindset you should have. This is not a career change. This is a business opportunity, right? This is you're starting a sales business. And whoever thinks this is not a sales business, you're probably in the wrong business because this is a sales business. So you have to have conversations to get clients and generate business. As a brand new agent, you should be making at least or having 5 conversations per day. 5 conversations per day, not 5 phone calls that you make and you left a voicemail, not 5 text messages, not five conversations, so that you can get some business, right? The reason why 9 out of 10 fail is because they're not held accountable to a schedule and don't have enough self leadership at this point to make it in the business. So, your mindset is really important to make sure that you succeed. Now, can you close from 20 to 30 transactions per year? Absolutely. There's agents who are closing more than that. So, the average agent closes 4 transactions. If you want a year, if you want to produce more than that, you're going to have to step it up and do the work that the top leaders and the top producers are doing. You don't think that the top producers are just sitting at home waiting for somebody to knock on their door that they want to sell. No, they're doing their work. They're making their phone calls. They're, having those conversations. They're scheduling appointments and they're getting the business. So, can you close 20 to 30 transactions? Absolutely. Now, remember to create a document to track how many people you're actually talking to, right? Now, there's several ways that you can do that. You can use KV Core, which La Rosa Realty offers. KV Core is basically your CRM, right? That's where you're going to be able to put your clients in there. You're going to be able to uh, write notes. You're going to be able to put them on a campaign. So you're going to be able to keep track of those conversations, right? Or you can have the old fashioned, we used to call it a tickler file, which is really just a little box that you can get, and with the little index cards, and then you separate it, January through December. And there you can start putting in, okay, Maria Smith. I talked to her today. We talked about this. Next follow up is this, and then you put it in the month corresponding to that follow up, right? But you have to keep track of how many conversations you're having, and keep track of if you've made any appointments, because that is what a business does, right? You're in business, so you have to treat it as such, right? You're going to be humble by understanding that you are new, but that that won't stop you from being successful. And you're going to be smart about it, right? Because it is all about your emotional intelligence. Okay. So just make sure that you are doing that. And so, who are you going to reach out to? I want you to think about your accountant, people you have helped with that helped you with advertising, your aerobics instructor, your alarm system company, your veterinarian, your apartment manager, your architect, your banker, your barber, your bartender, your consultant, consulting people, your financial planner, all your sphere, your friends, your family, everybody that your hairdresser. I mean, these are all people that already know you, they trust you, and they like you, right? So if the easiest business usually comes from your sphere of influence, right? Those are the people that are going to recommend you, that are going to say, hey, I trust her, I like her, she's great. Those are the first people that you want to contact, right? And you're going to add all these people into your KV Core, into your CRM system, right? And a conversation could be, let's say you're calling, um, you know, your, I don't know, let's say your cousin that you haven't spoken to in 3 years, right? And you're like, hey, Teresa, how are you? Hey, I was calling to see how you were. I know it's been a long time. I'm so, happy to hear from you. And I just wanted to see how everything is. How's the family? You start doing your little small talk, right? And catching up. And then you're really going to tell them, hey, one of the reasons, I don't know if you heard, but one of the reasons I wanted to share with you is that I just got my real estate license, right? Or not even a real estate license. You're really going to say, I just started my real estate business, right? Because remember, this is a business. I just started my real estate business, and I help people buy homes, sell homes for top dollar, and I help investors invest in real estate. Who do you know that you can recommend to me, right? Who do you know? Do you have a friend that you can, share their information that you think it's looking to buy or sell? Because I really, really need your help, right? People always want to help. When you ask people for help, they will help, right? Especially when you tell them, hey, I'm just starting a new business and I really need my friends and family to help me grow it. I would love for you to just share what you can do. Share with other people what I'm doing and recommend me if you can. And if you know someone right now, I'd love to get a hold of them, right? And let's say they say no, I really don't know anybody off the top of my head. Oh, no worries. Is it okay if I follow up in a couple weeks and see if you've thought of anyone, right? And I'll go back to my list. If you can check, maybe with your hairdresser, maybe the barber, maybe the someone at the grocery store that maybe someone at the school. You kind of start giving them ideas of where they could be looking, and you follow up in 2 weeks, right? You put them in your KV Core, in your CRM, and put a little note and task there to follow up with them. Okay, because that's what you need to do. Now, be a smart agent. Most agents, when they come into this business, again, they're thinking it's a career change, they're thinking it's easy, and they're thinking that they're going to make a lot of money overnight, which is not the case. You can eventually, definitely you will, if you put in the work, right? So as a new agent, is that you have to be very structured, right? You have to have some structure. The reality is that you need to have 5 conversations every day, right? 5 days a week, which makes it 25 conversations. That'll lead to almost 1,300 conversations at the end of the year. If you were to close 3% of that business, that would make you around 20 to 30 transactions per year, right? But the only way to do that is for you to schedule your time, right? You're gonna have to schedule time. One of the times that you want to schedule is early in the morning, is to role play your scripts and your dialogues. Yes, there are scripts that you can use, that you can practice, and eventually they will become your own. But yes, you should definitely be, because right now you're a brand new agent. You don't know what to tell a for sale by owner, right? You need a script to kind of guide you. You don't know what to say to an expired listing. You don't know how to lead generate, right? So you need to role play your scripts and dialogue, so that way they become second nature to you, and you're able to overcome the objections that come when you're trying to convince someone to sell their house. Now, lead generation, lead follow up, and lead conversion is a time that you're also going to block in your schedule. So in my schedule, I have it blocked, right? Every morning, that's what I do. If I and I schedule everything else around that. Now, there's going to be some times, obviously, that we're going to have to change it around a little bit, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing it. If I, for some reason, can't do it at 9 because I have a meeting or I have a webinar or whatever I need to do, I move that block down to another time during my day that I can do it. I don't just forget about it and say, oh, forget it, I'll just do it tomorrow, right? Because if I do that, I'm not working on my business. I have to work on my business if I want to make money, right? So those are important things that you want to make sure that you take care of. Okay. Now, obviously, you want to have some lunch there for your during your day, and then in the afternoon, you go on appointments. So agents join and they think, okay, well, I'm going to have more flexibility of time. I don't have that 9 to 5 schedule. But in reality, when you first start in real estate, you almost have to pretend that you're still at your 9 to 5 job. You still have to keep a schedule. You still have to get up in the morning. I get up in the morning, I get dressed, I put my makeup on, I get ready for my day, even though I don't have a regular day job, right? My job is to still go out there, talk to people, go on appointments, make my phone calls, but I'm always dressed for success. Why? Because when you dress for success, you feel successful. Right. So I get up and I get business dressed. I'm ready to go. If someone calls me right now, I am ready to put on my shoes and walk out the door. Okay. So you always want to be prepared, and you always want to treat your business like if you were going to a job until you get to a point where you're closing 20, 30 transactions a year and you're more comfortable, right? But if not, you're going to stay at that average agent that closes, 2 to 4 um, closings a year, right? So you have to put in the work. Okay. So in your time for appointments, I want you to know that the neighborhoods, you can drive around the neighborhoods. You can take mental notes, right? You can go to new construction, go and meet an on-site agent, ask them if you can take your clients and your buyers there for a consultation for homes, which I really recommend. That's one of the things that I like doing. When you have a buyer, instead of meeting them, at Starbucks, or maybe meeting them at the office, why don't you meet with that buyer at a new construction home, model home, like a model home, and you take them there, and that's going to make them feel like, wow, I want to live in something like this, right? It's going to be brand new and shiny and nicely remodeled, and it's just going to get them excited to buy, right? So do your buyer consultations in try to do them in a new home construction site, model home, right? Because people get excited. This is an emotional thing for a buyer. Okay. We're talking about buyers now. When you're working with buyers, it's an emotional attachment, right? So you want to take them to a brand new house that looks great so they can start getting remodeling ideas and what they're going to do and all this great stuff. So, visit that, do that with your buyer presentation because you're more than likely going to get them to stick to you, right? And continue with the process of buying. You want to get them excited. Also visit open houses. That's a great way to know the product and get to know your other agents in the area. If you know your products, right? If you know the neighborhood, like for instance, in my neighborhood, there's certain things I know about my neighborhood. So if I were to go try to prospect to my neighbors, I can share things about the neighborhood that they might not know, right? Or if I have a buyer that wants to buy in this area, I already know the neighborhood. So it's good to also know a little bit about the area that you're going to farm, the area that you're going to work in. Okay. So now what tools do you need as a brand new agent? CRM tool like KV Core, as I've mentioned before, right? Learning is where you're going to see the growth. So you have to also carve out some time in your schedule for learning, like what dialers you can use, what the CRM, how to use the CRM, how to put your clients in there, right? Join a mastermind group, which we actually have one. So if you were to decide to join La Rosa Realty, you would be part of my VIP group, which is basically a mastermind group that we have once a month where we share just everything from trainings to wins to situations. We mastermind on how to get clients. We get creative, right? Education and training. Obviously, you're always going to need education. You're constantly learning in this business because things are ever changing. So you always want to make sure that you're getting the education and training that you need. And obviously, invest in a dialer. Now, people are like, oh, well, what's a dialer? I don't know what that is. So a dialer is basically a system that will send you the leads, right? Usually expired and for sale by owners. You'll be able to get their phone numbers. Most of the time, you can get their emails, and it makes your life easier, right? Because you have all the information right there at your fingertips, and it automatically dials the person for you. So you just need to, hit the button. It'll dial the phone number for that person. You can start talking. If they don't answer, it just calls the next person. And basically you're ready to start, prospecting to these expireds and for sale by owners. So it is something that you might want to look into at one point or another, but start with your sphere at the beginning, unless you have some extra cash around that you really want to invest in your business. And guys, remember that this is a business. You will always have an initial investment, whether that be your broker fee, right? That you have to pay your broker for all the tools and stuff that you need, your technology, right? All the technology. You have to make sure that you go with a company that has a lot of technology, like La Rosa Realty, that has everything that you need. But there's always gonna be an upfront cost because this is a business. You're not interviewing for a job where your employer pays for all the tools and things like that. You're starting a brand new business as a real estate agent, and when you start the business, you're going to have to invest in your business. There is no business that you can start with zero money down. Okay, so there is going to be some investment. Okay, and if there isn't an investment, then it won't be worth it for you, right? Because this is how I see things. If I'm not paying anything, then I'm like, well, I'm not paying anything, so it doesn't matter if I work today or not, right? But if I know that every month I have to pay something, or I have some sort of cost on my end for marketing, for whatever, and I'm paying out, I'm going to show up and I'm going to try to get clients because I cannot afford not to, right? So if you're not paying anything, you're probably not going to put enough effort into your business because you're like, I'm not paying anything, so it doesn't matter if I work today or not. Oh, maybe I'll just work next week, right? No, that doesn't work that way. You have to be invested in your business. So, all the tools I shared today are things that every single agent, new or seasoned agent, should be doing every single day. And the difference between you and all those other people who aren't going to make it in this business is that you're doing it every day. Most agents do not. So you have to be the smart agent, right? Because you have a job. You run a company. You are the boss and you are in charge. If you're not building your business every day, you're going to be one of the nine, and I know it's tough, but I want you to make sure that your mindset is correct, right? For the business that you're about to go into. You have to have the right mindset. And if you're not ready, then just don't hang up your license, because you have to be mentally prepared for to hear no's, right? When you're making those phone calls, you're going to hear a lot of no's. You have to be mentally prepared for that. You need to be ready to hear a lot of no's before you see that one yes, right? And the first year is always going to be the toughest year. So don't get discouraged. You keep plucking away. If you start making those phone calls, if you do your due diligence, if you schedule your day, you can close 20 to 30 deals a year. It's doable, but you have to invest in the time. I can't do it for you. Your brokerage is definitely not going to do it for you, right? Because remember that when you get your license, you're just you legally have to hang your license with a brokerage. That doesn't mean that your brokerage is your boss. That doesn't mean that your brokerage is going to hold you accountable. That doesn't mean that your brokerage is going to do anything for you other than support you if you have questions, right? And I also recommend a coach, right? One of the things that I recommend highly is to get a coach, because at the beginning, even I that have been in the business 7 years, do not still have a coach, right? I have a coach. Not now it's more for mindset and sales, right? At the beginning it was more to help me handle my first four transactions, right? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to fill out a contract. I didn't know what an addendum was. I didn't know any of that. So I needed a coach to help me through my first four transactions until I got used to the documents that my clients needed to sign, how to do the open house, how to do the listing agreement. All those things I needed hand holding, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't make a mistake and did something wrong for my client, right? So having a coach and having that handheld situation where you're going through the transaction with someone that's holding your hand, that's walking you through every step of the way until you learn to do it on your own, is really, really important, because not every transaction is going to be the same, right? Every transaction is different. So you need that attention and you need that coaching. Coaches not only train you, but they also help you with your mindset. They help you get organized with your schedule. So here at La Rosa Realty, we offer coaching. I'm actually one of their coaches, and we highly recommend that you get coaching at the beginning. Don't look at the split. The split has nothing to do with what you need. You need right now, it's like I tell agents, you can make 40, 60% of something or 100% of nothing, right? Because if you don't know how to work your business at the beginning, you need someone to coach you how to run your business at the beginning. Okay. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Teresa Santos. If you want more information about joining La Rosa, you can scan that QR code, put in your information, and I will personally give you a call, so we can get you started on your journey as a new agent with the right brokerage and the right material and coaching that you deserve to get your business off the ground. So if you want to go ahead and take a picture of that, you're more than welcome to. And you have an amazing, amazing day.